welcome to yet another episode of Solving Save My Exams Papers. This time we're going to go over question paper 5 of the same difficulty level and of the same topic. So let's just get started. So question 1. Each year a school organizes a concert. Part A, Roman 1. In 2004, the cost of organizing the concert was $385. In 2005, the cost was 10% less than in 2004. Calculate the cost in 2005. So if the cost of organizing the concerts in 2004 was $385, we can assume this is 100% of the price. This is the original price. Now, the cost in the next year, basically 2005, is 10% less. So we're going to just take 100 minus 10. So basically, the cost in 2005 is 90% of the original cost. So we're going to just write it out in this format as I've written it on the paper, and we're going to cross multiply. So we're just going to take 90 times 385 over 100, and we get that the cost in 2005 was $346.50. Okay, part 2. The cost of $385 in 2004 was 10% more than the cost in 2003. Calculate the cost in 2003. So if this is 110% of the cost, this is 10% more, so basically 100 plus 10, this is 110% of the cost. Now we want to know what's the actual cost, what's 100%. So again, going to write it in the same format that you can see I've written on the paper, and we're going to cross multiply. So we're just going to take 100 times 385 over 110, and we should get $350. That's the cost in 2003. Part B, Roman 1. In 2006, the number of tickets sold was 210. The ratio, number of adult tickets to number of student tickets, was 23 ratio 19. How many adult tickets were sold? So basically, we're going to take 23 plus 19 because it's a ratio, and that's basically how you go about ratio questions. So we're going to take 23 plus 19, and the total is 42. Now, we're going to take the number of adult tickets that is mentioned in the ratio, 23. We're going to take 23, put it over 42, and multiply it by the number of tickets. So 23 over 42 multiplied by 210 is 115. These are the number of adult tickets sold in 2006. So Roman 2. Adult tickets were $2.50 and student tickets were $1.50 each. So calculate the total amount received from selling the tickets. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try and calculate the revenue earned from adult tickets and the revenue earned from student tickets and add those two together. So to calculate the revenue earned for adult tickets, we're going to take the price per ticket, $2.50, multiplied by the number of tickets sold, 115. That is basically taken from the previous question. So 2.5 times 115 is $287.5. That's the total amount received from just selling adult tickets. Now we want to know the amount received from selling student tickets. So in order to calculate the amount received from selling student tickets, we need to know how many student tickets were sold. Now, adult tickets plus student tickets gives you 210. So basically 115 plus x is basically student tickets, is 210. So 210 minus 115 is basically number of student tickets. So we're just to get that, we're just going to take 210 minus 115 multiplied by 1.50. 1.50 is basically price per ticket. Multiplying those together, and we get that the total revenue received from selling student tickets was $142.50. Now these are the revenue received from the adult and student tickets. The total revenue, we're just going to take the adult tickets and add it to the student tickets. So 287.5 plus 142.5, and we get that the total amount received is 430. Roman 3. In 2006, the cost of organizing the concert was $410. Calculate the percentage profit in 2006. So in order to calculate the percentage profit, we're going to take the total amount received, subtract the cost to get the profit. Okay? So and the profit was 20. Because 430 minus 410 is 20. Now we're going to put it over 410. The reason for doing this is because whenever you're calculating percentage profit, you're going to put it over the amount spent, not the amount you received. So the amount they spent was $410. So the difference between the two is 20 over 410 multiplied by 100. And the percentage profit in 2006 was 4.88%. Part C. In 2007, the number of tickets sold again was 210. Adult tickets were $2.60 each, and Student tickets were $1.40 each. The total amount received from selling the 210 tickets was $480. How many student tickets were sold? So now this is an algebraic question. So in order to go about this question, we need to assign a variable to the student tickets. Let's say student tickets is X. So 1.40 times X, so total revenue of student tickets earned, plus, remember, in order to find the number of tickets for adults, we're going to have to take what we know, basically X for students, and 210 minus X. So 210 minus X is basically number of adult tickets. So 2.60 multiplied by number of adult tickets, which is 210 minus X, plus 1.40 times X, which is student tickets, is equal to 480. Now let's open the brackets. So it's 546 minus 2.60x plus 1.4x is 480. Let's collect the like terms. So negative 2.6 plus 1.4 is negative 1.2. And 546 minus 1.2x is 480. Now let's move them about. So 480 moves to the other side and 1.2 also moves to the other side, and you can see I've indicated it using the arrows here. So now the 1.2 becomes positive. So 1.2x is equal to 546 minus 480. I've not done the difference here because I was running out of space. Now the main goal, in order to get value of x, we need to isolate x. In order to isolate x, we need to divide both sides by 1.2. So dividing both sides by 1.2 leaves x alone. And that is basically our aim. So this difference divided by 1.2 gives us the value of x as 55. That's the number of student tickets sold. Question 2. Maria, Carolina, and Pedro receive $800 from their grandmother in the ratio 7:5:4. Calculate how much money each receives. So again, you're going to add 7, 5, and 4 to get the total, of which 800 can be represented as a fraction of. So 7 plus 5 plus 4 is 16. So that's the total of their thing. So Maria is basically going to be expressed as 7/16 of the money goes to Maria. So what's the value? Take 7/16 multiplied by 800. So that would mean 300, that would give us $350. That's the amount Maria receives. We're going to do the same for Carolina and Pedro, except that we're going to use their respective values. So for Carolina, you're going to use 5/16 multiplied by 800, you get to $50. And for Pedro, you take 4/16 multiplied by 800 and you get $200. Now let's say you want to proof check this question. Add 350, 250, and 200. If it becomes $800, your answers are right. So adding 350 to 250 is basically 600. 600 plus 200 is 800. So I know that my answer is correct. Part B. Maria spends 2/7 of her money and then invests the rest for 2 years at 5% per year simple interest. How much money does Maria have at the end of 2 years? So in order to find this, we need to first calculate the amount that is left. So in order to do this, we need to find the amount that was spent. So you can take 2/7 multiplied by 350, and we get that she spent $100. Now what is left is we take the total amount of money, subtract the amount that was spent, and we get to $50. This is the amount that wasn't spent, and this is the money that she has invested basically. Oh my god, how do I get rid of this? Now we're going to use this simple interest formula, and in order to calculate the amount of money Maria has at the end of 2 years. So the simple interest formula is PRT over 100. Now look, PRT over 100 only shows you the amount of interest received, but the question asks you how much money do you have in total. In order to calculate the total of investment, you need to add principal to it. That's it. So now let's just put the values in it. So 250 times 5 times 2 over 100, calculate that separately, plus 250. Calculating this separately is 25 plus 250, and we get that the total amount Maria has at the end of 2 years is $275. Part C. Carolina spends all of her money on a hi-fi set and 2 years later sells it at a loss of 20%. How much money does Carolina have at the end of 2 years? So remember, she spent all of her money. So basically she had $250. That's 100% of the money. Now she bought it at this, now she sold it at 80% of this. How did I get 80%? 100 minus 20%. 20% is in the question. Subtract 20 because it's a loss. So she sold it at 80% with the price. So cross multiply and arrange it in the format I've shown you here. So 80 times 250 over 100, and we get that Carolina sold the hi-fi set at $200. Pedro spends some of his money, and at the end of 2 years, he has $100. Write down and simplify the ratio of the amounts Maria, Carolina, and Pedro have at the end of 2 years. So basically, we need to first write down the actual amounts they had after 2 years. So Maria had 275, Carolina had 200, and Pedro had 100. So 275 ratio 200 ratio 100. Notice that all these numbers can be simplified by 5. So let's divide all of these numbers by 5. Now, dividing all of them by 5 is basically 55 ratio 40 ratio 20. They can again be simplified by 5. So we're going to divide all numbers by 5 again. And then it should give us the simplest ratio 11 ratio 8 ratio 4. This is the amount in the ratio format they have at the end of 2 years. Part E. Pedro invests $100 for 2 years at a rate of 5% per year compound interest. Calculate how much money he has at the end of these 2 years. We're just going to write down the compound interest formula. Principal open bracket 1 plus rate over 100 close bracket power time. Put all the values in it. So basically P stands for principal. So 100 open bracket 1 plus rate is 5. So 5 over 100 close bracket squared because time is 2. We're going to solve what's in the bracket first. So 100 times 1.05 squared. Put that in your calculator and you should get that the total amount is $110.25. Remember, compound interest formula already gives you the combined investment, gives you the interest, and also adds the principal for you. So that's the amount of money he has there. You do not need to do any more stuff. Also, I've noticed that most of you who are watching this channel aren't subscribed. Please hit that subscribe button down there. It really helps out a lot. And if you did, thank you very much. Now let's move on to the third question. A Spanish family went to Scotland for a holiday. Part A. The family bought £800 at a rate of £1 equals to 1.52 euros. How much did this cost in euros? So basically £1 is 1.52 euros. So how much would £800 equal to? Cross multiply. So 800 times 1.52, and we get that it's 1,216 euros. You can notice that I couldn't have done the cross multiplication thing because of the limited space of the worksheet. Part B. The family returned home with £118 and changed this back to euros. They received 173.46 euros. Calculate how many euros they received for each pound. Now notice this. Euros they received for each pound. Euros before pounds. So basically the question basically tells you what do you divide by what. Euros is phrased before pounds. So basically you're going to take the value of euros over the number of pounds. As you can see, 173.46 over 118. It is 1.47 euros. This is the amount of euros they receive for each pound. Part C. A toy which costs 11.5 euros in Spain only costs 9.75 euros in Scotland. Calculate as a percentage of the cost in Spain how much less it costs in Scotland. So we're going to take the cost in Spain, subtract the cost in Scotland over the cost in Spain. The reason we say over the cost in Spain is because the question says calculate as a percentage of the cost in Spain. That's why it's over 11.5. The difference is 1.75 over 11.50 multiplied by 100, and we see that it is 15.21% less in Scotland. Part D. The total cost of the holiday was 4,347 euros. In the family, there were 2 adults and 3 children. The cost for one adult was double the cost for one child. Calculate the cost for one child. So let child be x. There were 3 children. So directly 3 multiplied by x, 3x, plus 2 adults. Now, the reason I put 2 open bracket 2x is because for one adult, the value is 2x because one adult is double the cost of one child. So double the cost of one child is basically 2 times x, so 2x. Now, there are 2 adults, so 2 multiplied by 2x gives you the cost for 2 adults. So 3x plus 4x equals to 4347. 7x is equal to 4347. Isolate x by dividing both sides by 7, and we get that the cost of one child is 621 euros. the original cost of the holiday was reduced by 10% to 4347.40. If this amount is 10% less than the original cost, this means that this is 90% of the original cost, because basically 100 minus 10%. So if 90% of this, this is 90% of the cost. So basically we're going to have to do 90 over 100 multiplied by x is equal to 4347. Now we want to remove this fraction. How do we remove this fraction? Basically reciprocating the fraction, putting denominator over numerator and multiplying it by both sides. So I multiply both sides by 100 over 90, and that would leave x isolated, and that would mean that x is equal to 4,830 euros. Okay, part F. The plane took 3 hours 15 minutes to return to Spain. The length of this journey was 2,350 kilometers. Calculate the average speed of the plane in Roman 1 kilometers per hour, Roman 2 meters per second. Speed is represented by the formula distance over time. Now what is the time in hours here? Remember, 15 minutes. How many minutes are there in an hour? 60. So 15 over 60 is basically a fraction in hours. 15 over 60 is 1 over 4. So in hours, this is 3¼ hours, basically 3.25 hours. Now we have converted this time to hours. We already have the distance in kilometer. So kilometer distance over hour time. So 2,350 over 3.25, and we should get that the speed is 723.07 kilometers per hour. Roman 2, again, they want us to calculate the speed, this time in meter per second. So the speed is distance over time. Now look, the distance is given to us in kilometers. We need to convert this to meters. So basically 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So kilometers times 1,000 gives you meters. So basically 2,350 times 1,000 is basically 2.35, 2,350,000 meters. That's your distance. Now the time, we need to convert this all to seconds. In 1 hour, there are 3,600 seconds. 3 hours, how many? 3 times 3,600. And in 1 minute, there are 60 seconds. 15 minutes, how many seconds? So 15 times 60. Add these two together and we get 11,700 seconds. Divide the meters over the number of seconds. So basically 2,350,000 meters over 11,700 seconds. And we get that the speed was 200.9 meter per second. Okay, so let's move to the other question. The population of Newtown is 45,000. The population of Villeneuve, I don't know how to pronounce this. Let me know down in the comments how you pronounce this weird name here. Is 39,000. Calculate the ratio of these populations in its simplest form. The ratio is basically a fraction. So we're just going to take 45,000 over 39,000 and simplify it. Basically, put it in your calculator. Your calculator will simplify to 15 over 13. Now just put 15 colon 13, basically ratio 13. That's how you write the ratio. Part B. In Newtown, 28% of the population are below the age of 20. Calculate how many people in Newtown are below the age of 20. So it's quite direct. Just take 28 over 100 multiplied by 45,000. And we should get 12,600 people. Also, I have a feeling this town name is a tribute to Newton. I really don't know. It's just a really weird name. Part C. In dash, 16,000 people are below the age of 20. Calculate the percentage of people in dash below the age of 20. Just take the amount of people below the age of 20 over the total amount of people and multiply by 100. And that's basically 16 over 39 times 100. And we get that the percentage of people in this town is 41.02. That's the percentage of people who are below 20. Okay. Part E, the population of Newtown is 125% greater than it was 50 years ago. Calculate the population of Newtown 50 years ago. Now, get ready for a lot of algebraic explanation. Let's say the population is y. Let's keep the variable for population as y. So, back then, the population was 1y. Basically, the original 100% of the population. So keep it as y plus. Now, add 100, now plus 125% greater. So basically add 125 over y over 100. This is basically an addition of the 125% is equal to 45,000. Let's do that again. So back then it was just y that's y is basically the original population, and this original population increased by 125%. So just take 125% times y. Now add these two together and we should get that the population is equal to 45,000. So now y plus, basically divide this and you should get 1.25y. So y plus 1.25y is 45,000. That is 2.25y is 45,000. Divide both sides by 2.25 and we get that y is 20,000. That's the population of Newtown 50 years ago. The two towns are combined and made into one city called Monocity. In Monocity, the ratio of men to women to children is 12 ratio 13 ratio 5. Calculate the number of children in Monocity. So we want to first add the total population of Monocity, basically the population of Newtown and the population of Villeneuve. So take 45,000 plus 39,000 and the total population of Monocity is 84,000. Now we're going to add all these ratios. We're going to take 12 plus 13 plus 5. 12 plus 13 plus 5 is 30. Now we're just going to take the number of children's value. So 5, we're going to take 5 over 30 multiplied by 84,000. So 5 over 30 multiplied by 84,000 is 14,000, and that's the number of children in Monocity. Question 5. The technical data of a car includes the following information: type of road, petrol use per 100 kilometers. In a main road, it uses 9.2 liters per 100 kilometers. Other roads, 8 liters per 100 kilometers. How much petrol is used on a journey of 350 kilometers on a main road? So if 100 kilometers is equal to 9.2 liters, what would 350 kilometers equal? Cross multiply 350 times 9.2 over 100, and we should get that the amount of petrol is 32.2 liters. On other roads, how far can the car travel on 44 liters of petrol? So again, 100 kilometers is 8 liters. So how, basically question mark is equal to 44 liters. Cross multiply 44 times 100 over 8, and we get the answer as 550 kilometers on other roads. So our journey consists of 200 kilometers on a main road and 160 kilometers on other roads. How much petrol is used? So what we're going to do is we're going to break this into 2 parts or 3 parts. So the first part is basically to calculate the amount of petrol used on the main road. Basically 200 kilometers, so just take 9.2 times 200 over 100, which is basically 9.2 times 2, and we get that the amount used on main road is 18.4 liters. That's part 1. Moving to part 2, we're going to calculate how much was used on other roads. Other roads, we're going to take 160 times 8 over 100, cross multiply as you can see, and we get that the amount used is 12.8 liters. That's part 2. Now the total amount of petrol that is used, add the two together. 18.4 plus 12.8 is 31.2. That's the amount of liters of petrol they use for this journey. Part B, work out the amount of petrol used per 100 kilometers of this journey. So how much, so basically in this first part, the first part of the question is, what's the total distance? So the total distance is 200 kilometers plus 160 kilometers. So 200 plus 160 is 360 kilometers. That's the amount the car kind of traveled. So if 360 kilometers is equal to 31.2 liters, how much is 100 kilometers equal to? Cross multiply again, and we get and you should come up with 100 times 31.2 over 360, and we get that the amount of petrol used per 100 kilometers of this journey is 8.7 liters. Let's move to this other question. Part B. A model of a car has a scale of 1:25, Roman 1. The length of the car is 3.95 meters. Calculate the length of the model. Give your answer in centimeters. Now look, this is a scale where everything is the same unit. So in the 1 meter of the model is 25 meters IRL in real life. So how many meters, basically question mark is equal to 3.95 meters. Cross multiply. So 3.95 times 1 over 25, and we get that it is 0.158 meters. Now they want the answer in centimeters. So 1 meter is 100 centimeters. How many centimeters is 0.158 meters? Cross multiply, so 0.158 times 100, and we should get that the answer in centimeters is 15.8 centimeters. Okay. Part 2. The painted surface of the model is 128 centimeters squared. Calculate the painted surface area of the car, giving an answer in square centimeters. So look, 1 centimeter of this model is 25 centimeters in real life. Square both the sides. If we square both the sides, we kind of get something known as, or what I like to call as, an area scale. So 1 centimeter squared is equal to 625 centimeters squared in real life. So on the model, well, there's 128 centimeters squared. So what is it in real life? So it's basically 128 times 625, and in real life, the answer in square centimeters is 80,000 centimeters squared. That's the painted surface area of the car. Now, part 3. The size of the luggage space of the car is 250 liters. Calculate the size of the luggage space of the model. Give your answer in milliliters. Now, you should know a few things. 1 liter is 1 meter cubed. 1 milliliter is 1 centimeter cubed. And 1 meter cubed is 1000 centimeter cubed, because 1 liter is 1000 milliliters. So we're going to do the same thing, but we're going in, as we did in the area question, except we're going to cube both the things. We're going to power both sides by 3. So 1 meter cubed is basically equal to 25 cubed meter cubed. I really don't want to write this out because it's not really vital. So let's just leave it as 25 power 3. So question mark is equal to 250 meter cubed, because you want to first convert it into the amount of the model. How much is the size of the luggage space for the model? So we're going to take 250 over 25 cubed, and we get that it is 0.016 liters. Now we need to convert this to milliliters. Yeah, I noticed I made a mistake. I haven't written it in milliliters. Please ignore this and assume that that is milliliters. So if 1 meter cubed is 1000 centimeter cubed, so 0.016 is what? So basically assume this is liters and this is milliliters. So take 0.016 liters, multiply by 1000, and you get that the answer is 16 milliliters of volume of luggage space. That's the volume of luggage space. Okay. So question 6 and the final question for this episode, part A. Ignore this alarm. At an athletics meeting, Ben's time for the 10,000 meters race was 33 minutes exactly, and he finished at 15:17. Roman 1. At what time did the race start? So we need to calculate, we need to get our facts straight here. So if he ended at 15:17 and it took 33 minutes for him to end at that time, the starting time is basically the ending time subtract 33 minutes. So 15:17 minus 33. Now let's subtract this. So I subtracted it, and you can see that I cut the hour here and added 60 minutes, so it became 14:77 minus 33, and it became 14:44. That's the time he started the race. It's basically 2:44 p.m. for those of you who don't know how to read 24-hour clock. I know you guys exist. Roman 2. What was Ben's average speed for the race? Give your answer in kilometers per hour. So we just need to convert that meters into kilometers. So 10,000 divided by 1,000 gives us in kilometers. Over the 33 minutes, we need to convert it into hours. So into hours, that is 33 over 60. We express this over 60 because 1 hour is 60 minutes. So that 10,000 divided by 1,000 is 10. 33 over 60 is 0.55. 10 over 0.55 is 18.18, and that is the speed in kilometers per hour. Okay, so now Roman 3. The winner finished 51.2 seconds ahead of Ben. How long did the winner take to run the 10,000 meters? So he took 51.2 seconds ahead of Ben, so less than Ben. So you take 33 minutes, subtract 51.2 seconds. Now to do this operation, we convert all of it into seconds. So 33 times 60, because 1 minute is 60 seconds, minus 51.2. Now I have not shown you what this the amount of seconds that is. So basically you do this in your calculator, subtract 51.2 and divide the answer you get by 60, and you get that the answer is 32 minutes and 8.8 seconds. You'll get some fraction left over. Yeah, you're going to have to convert that on your own. This is basically 32 minutes and 8.8 seconds. Part B. The winning distance in the javelin competition was 80 meters. The winning distance in javelin is 80 meters. Otto's throw was 95% of the winning distance. Calculate the distance of Otto's throw. It's quite direct. Just take 95% of the winning distance. So 95 over 100 multiplied by 80, and we get that the distance of Otto's throw was 76 meters. Not far off, actually. Part C. Pamela won the long jump competition with a jump of 6.16 meters. This was 10% further than Mona's jump. How far did Mona jump? So 100 plus 10%, so 110% of Mona's jump is basically 6.16. So what is Mona's jump? What is 100% of the jump? So just cross multiply, as you can see here, 100 times 6.16, so about 110, and that is 5.6 meters, and that is Mona's jump. That's the end of the video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all notifications to get an update whenever I post a new video. See you guys next time.